Welcome to Engineering Influence, podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, sponsored by Victor Insurance Managers, one of the largest and most experienced underwriting managers of professional liability and specialty insurance programs in the world. And I want to pick up kind of where we left off a little bit earlier with Mitch Joel, who was our first keynote speaker of the convention. And to do that, I'm very pleased to welcome back Chris Grindler. He is our ACEC marketing director. Come on board about it was right before the spring conference.
During fall conference.
The spring conference. Yes. Right before the virtual one. So this is your first in-person thing.
It is, and it's a great experience. It's great meeting all the members and seeing the event and being in person. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a while. What do you think? I mean, coming in the group to the organization with kind of this mandate, this broad mandate, to take us and kind of position us in a more digital forward way, in a more, I guess, poised for more data, like the insights that he was talking about, the big data, collecting that, using that. Where do you see the opportunities for engineering as far as you've seen so far in your exposure with it?
Yeah, I think so far, I think Mitch made a good point when you talk about data, right? There's big data and then there's small data, and you don't really want to get caught up in all of the massive data that's out there. Now, it may be different from a firm to firm level based on what your objectives are, but cut up the data that you find useful, that you can have actionable takeaways with, things that matter from, you can look at KPIs, but other things that really drive the business, because it's easy to get taken down little rabbit holes and taken away from the focus of what you're trying to do with the data.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. When you start talking about data, you get freaked out because it's like, where do you start? And you have to look at your goals and then move back and then start from there and then decide exactly what are you going to track and then figure out how you're going to track that and use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And getting that process in place, and if you can automate it, you're ahead of the game, right out of the blocks. If you have the technology, as was mentioned during the keynote, find technology, invest in that technology that can help to take your business forward, and try to simplify it as much as you possibly can. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. It's not so mysterious if you actually break it down to understandable bits. It's like, how do you eat an elephant, right? So you have small steps, and then you can start actually getting somewhere.
Right. Yeah. You can't tackle it all in one fell swoop. It's an investment. It takes time, but you have to chart out what that looks like moving forward to make it work.
What do you think is probably the biggest driver right now? I mean, the Facebook, the situation with Facebook, outside of really what we do, of course, from the association space, is mainly the political commentary and all that. It seems like Facebook is taking a dive, and we don't really see the metrics there. I mean, our users, our viewers really don't go to Facebook much anymore. I mean, if you're a company out there, where do you think is the best place to invest your time and energy from a social media standpoint to try to make an impact?
I think that's a great question. I think it depends upon your business. So as you said, with ACEC, we see that Facebook isn't really the driver. So if LinkedIn is the driver, how can you get in front of your customers and potential customers on LinkedIn? Not just, talking necessarily about your business, but sharing stories, having interviews, videos, and taking those thoughts, packaging them up, and just, dropping them in and just starting to share your story. It's all about storytelling, having potential customers and current clients understand your perspectives and where your expertise lies. And it's not through telling, you really need to show it. Yeah. Right? You really need to show what you have and the value you can bring.
Yeah. Build a narrative.
Absolutely. And it's not just a one-shot deal. You have to continue it, right? So you have a great piece of content, you drop it onto LinkedIn. It's like, okay, where do we go next? You have to continue to build the conversation, build your brand, and just keep moving. So again, small steps, kind of like with the data, right? You just have to start somewhere and keep moving with it.
Absolutely. Well, there's going to be a lot more to talk about. I mean, I think that once we get back into once we get back in some form or fashion to the office, we should start doing like a regular thing where we talk about like trends in marketing. We talk about what our firms, member firms can do. But this is a good start. And I think Mitch was a great, presenter to kick off the conversation. So.
Absolutely.
So Chris, again, hey, if you see Chris walking around the floor, stop, say hello, fist bump, don't shake his hand, but fist bump, roll COVID. But Chris is great. He's been really transforming the face of ACEC, and we want to keep that pace going. And Chris, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
And again, this has been Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, brought to you by Victor Insurance Managers. We'll see you again real soon. See you, everyone.